Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. I'm Brad.
Oh my God, guys.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't know. I was trying to do like a pause thing. I don't know. I'm dumb.
In this bonus episode, we are talking The Walking Dead episode 1021 Diverged, which is kind of how I felt in the middle of this.
Really?
Yeah, wasn't about
Dang,
it
this
was
really wasn't your best episode.
it was okay. It was a little underwhelming, if I can say that.
It was just another one of those slow episodes, man. Like you're more into The Walking Dead than I am, but even I understand the whole slow burn episodes. Like I get why they're there.
I get it too. And I honestly, when I first watched, I've been in like phases of this. Like I've slowly gotten more and more okay with it. When I
Yeah.
first watched it, I was sitting on the couch like, what the hell is this? I was like, we have one episode left until we're at the final season, and we're wasting it on Carol chasing a rat. But the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, I get it, because they're probably trying to build up this Carol Daryl spinoff. B, these episodes really weren't meant to like propel the story that much farther. I think they were just kind of supposed to be filler to kind of like show extra things.
Mhm.
And B, I guess the Diverged title was kind of supposed to be a play on, Daryl and Carol when we last saw them, which was in Find Me, in the third one of these six. They were kind of at odds. They were arguing. They were like, they were throwing shade and insults at each other at the end. But their journey in this episode, if you really look at it, it was kind of parallel. Like, it's ironic because their problems and their solutions to those problems were so similar through the entire thing. You know what I mean? Everything
Honestly, yeah.
from everything from when Daryl, his gas line had the little like tear in it. Well, when Dog was chasing the rat around Carol's living room and he knocked over the lamp had that same tear. Like, it was like little things like that. And you put it perfectly. It was a slow burn episode. It was one of those episodes where it's like you just kind of got to sit back and like appreciate the small details of it,
Yeah,
because it,
exactly.
it it seemed very like mundane. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like very
Well,
pedestrian. It wasn't. There was nothing like crazy about it.
what I thought, and it would have been crazy was I thought Carol was the one that snipped the the fuel line. I
Oh,
was like,
really?
oh shit, that is dark,
I didn't
Carol.
even think about that at all.
Yeah, I that was my initial thought, and I realized that that probably wasn't the case.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like this episode was pretty well written, so to speak, because I mean, it talked about like these two characters have been best friends for a long time through thick and thin, and they get into an argument, and they diverge, I
Right.
guess, and they handle the argument as as well as they should, as well as they could have. You know what I mean? Because both of them are
Yeah. Yeah.
pretty mission driven. Like if something bad happens, they're just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna put my attention towards something else that needs my attention. So like for
Right.
Carol, it was Cookie and the rat, and then for Darrow is just finding food. Which I mean, both of them kind of succeeded, but their whole main focus was just like they're really mission oriented, and that's the way of coping after like a pretty bad situation. You know what
Hmm.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like that's kind of the theme I got from this episode.
Right.
And yeah, I agree with you. The parallels in this movie was absolutely spot on, and all the way to the point where they met up. And even when they met up,
At
they
the end, you
still
mean?
don't want it. Yeah, even when
Well,
they like
yeah.
met up at the end, they were like, "Nah."
Yeah. That was the other thing that kind of like, I think at first, again, I get it because they're building tension towards what's to come. Um, but I kind of expected at the end for them to be like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like for them to like kind of make up, and I guess they
They
sort
really
of did, but
didn't.
they really didn't. It kind of didn't resolve. That was the
No.
other reason I was like, oh. I
Yeah, I
was like,
was like,
okay,
ooh, this is
yeah.
awkward. I would
But
love for that Hawaiian dude. What's his name?
God, what's his name?
Exactly. I love him in in this episode and just
I
every
don't
episode
remember.
he's in.
I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember what his name is. I love
He's
him. I love the character. I just
yeah,
I'm drawing a blank on what his name is.
great guy. So
Yeah.
I wanted to see him at the end of the episode of him, pushing his wheelbarrow and just seeing those two like stare at each other and him like
Jerry. Jerry.
Jerry. Okay,
Jerry.
so seeing Jerry just like staring at Daryl and Carol and he's
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
okay, and just
Well,
walks off.
and the other thing that I kind of thought of after the fact, this episode, it's weird. The episode, like, it took me a little bit for it to like to click, and I had to kind of stew on it for a little bit. Even the entire episode, I thought every time Carol ran into Jerry, she acted weird. She kind of
Yes.
acted like how she used to in the original seasons, where
Hmm. Trying to
like
hide
where
her
Ed
like
was beating the hell out of her and she was like trying to hide her real emotions and what she was feeling. And then the rat was kind of like, I feel like I'm reaching really far, but also I don't think I am. I think this is what they were going for. It was like when she finally let her feelings out and Jerry hugged her and she was like, when he was like, I know you're not okay or whatever, and she hugged him, the rat finally left. So I think it was like that was kind of showing her like she needed to not bottle up her emotions. She needed to let that out and she needed to hug him. She needed to just be herself. And that was actually like one of the first things I wrote down in my like breakdown of the episode was the whole Carol insecurity depression thing. Like when she told Jerry, like, can't you just let me suffer in peace or something like that? I was like, shut up. We all know you're a badass. Like, we know, come on. You
yeah,
took
exactly.
down Terminus alone. Like, you
Fuck, that's
literally
true.
saved all of them by yourself. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's like because
you're fine.
you remember whenever the core group like got to Alexandria and like Carol was acting like a different person. She was acting
Mhm.
like an actual like house
Yeah. She
like
went
a
back to that same, like, all is well. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And
exactly.
it was
Yeah.
weird.
So like I don't know why. I think that's like one of her like defensive mechanism.
It
Like
is. It is.
if she feels like threatened or like something is like going chaotic within her, like she like reverts back to that type of area
Yeah.
because that's where she feels I wouldn't say needed, but useful, so to speak. Because
Well,
if she can't be her badass self blowing up Terminus, she knows she can be a pretty good. I don't know how to call it a house mother,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I also think part of it is like she feels the weight of Daryl is one of the few things she has left from the beginning. I mean, she has people, but I mean, Ezekiel's not there right now.
Hmm.
Henry's dead. Sophia's dead. Her ex-husband is dead, which I don't think she really cares if Ed is dead. Ed was
A dick. Yeah.
no skin off her back.
Yeah.
But I think Daryl is one of those things. Rick is gone. Glenn is gone. Abraham's gone. So many of like their original family is gone now. I feel like she's so scared of losing Daryl. It makes her go into that defense mechanism state. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Of
hear you.
like she just that's what she does. That's what she resorts to. Let's go ahead and get into our breakdown here because the few things I thought was interesting. Um, we heard in the episode, what was it called, one more, with Gabriel and Aaron on their
Hmm.
hunt for food when they ran into Robert Patrick's character and the pig. um you know we know that they're low on food. I mean, obviously we have all of the Alexandrians, everyone from Hilltop and everyone from the kingdom all living together,
Plus
really,
Maggie's group.
plus Maggie's group, plus Oceanside.
Fuck yeah.
So that's five different groups trying to like exist together now, and they're trying to rebuild Alexandria, and they're low on food. I was glad that they threw in the line about the Whisperers destroyed their crops in the
Hmm.
Whisperer War because a lot of their crops came from Hilltop. So when the Horde tore through Hilltop, a lot of their food was gone. So that kind of explains a lot of that stuff like that. I thought was
Yeah.
very good when they throw stuff
And
like that in because it's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. They're not low on food just because they're low on food. they're low on food because all of their crops and everything they had got destroyed when they were fighting off the Whisperers. So I thought that was kind of a cool little little thing.
Yeah, just a casualty of war. Like literally
Yeah,
anything,
yeah.
and also anything that they could hunt was pretty much killed off from the horde as well.
Yeah.
So like everything that they find, any animal
Hmm.
that's left has probably been like eaten
Right.
or killed by one of the walkers or whatever.
Hmm.
So it's like they're reaching a point where what is there left to do and what is there left to hunt in this area? Like, is
Right.
this area just actually finally done?
Hmm.
Because when I keep thinking when I keep thinking about like low on food, I'm like, my dude, like Oceanside, they literally buy an ocean.
Yeah.
Like they can go get plenty of fish. Just saying, it's Holy Week. No, I'm kidding.
Got to get them sea legs out.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, did Carol annoy you at all? Really, Carol or Daryl? Either one of them. Did they annoy you in this episode at all? Because one
Carol
of the
did to a
things,
certain degree.
Daryl.
Carol.
Okay, yeah, like one of the things I'd written down was that like is it just me or is Carol being annoying? Like even the commentary when she was killing the zombies,
Mm-hmm.
when she was going around stabbing them in the field, she was like, "Oh no, you didn't. Oh, where are you going? Shh. Nope, come back here." I was like, "What are you doing? Like who?"
You realize like these zombies have just became more of a nuisance than it is actually
Yeah,
like something to be scared of, so
yeah,
to speak. You realize like it's kind of like messed up to think about it like that, but like it's
yeah,
not really like a zombie TV show anymore. It's kind of like just trying to survive, and
yeah,
then there just happens to be walkers that you have to kill.
yeah.
Like you realize like how like in the beginning of the show, like if anyone would have saw that many walkers by themselves, they would have ran.
Oh yeah,
Carol on the other hand was like, here we go. Let's okay. No,
yeah.
actually, yes. She thought this was like an opportunity to take out some pimped up aggression.
Well, I don't know. It wasn't even like, yeah, like you said, I don't know. Like I think back, even for the fans, like even for viewers, if you remember when Rick first gets to Atlanta and he rounds the corner on the horse and it's like a sea of zombies on the street. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
remember watching that episode for the first time and being like, holy crap, you got to get out of there. You got to get out of there. But it's even like the viewers have become desensitized to the zombies a
Yep.
little bit. Now, of course, when you see the horde, like when Alpha's horde was walking towards Hilltop, it was like, oh, like okay, this is a little different because there's so many of them. But like when you have like the field of them, even in one more, we saw like Aaron um and Gabriel using the traps, like they threw the timer to like lure them out. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still on guard. They you get a sense that they're like, okay, this is still a threat. But I just thought it was very strange for Carol in that scene because she was so like it was almost like playful when she was killing them. Like she was kind of just like, no, and off and die and off. I was like, what is like it was very odd to me. Like I was sitting on my couch like,
Yeah, like
what?
it's getting to the point where they really don't have much left. I don't know. It's just like
It felt strange. That sequence felt very strange to me.
it's pretty cool. It's like thinking of it like it's like the new normal, which
Mm-hmm.
is like something we always say now with the COVID pandemic. Like this is just the new normal. This is just the way we do things now. It's like kind of like
Yeah.
it's like a little bit of a parallel there. And it's so strange to see it like that because, before like if you would have saw zombies like you like as a viewer, you'd be really freaking out because if there's one
Right.
walker, that means there's a shit ton more just
Mm-hmm.
right behind them. And like both Carol and Daryl had the same like situation where like Daryl had to go find that zombie that walker that was like stuck on a tree, and there were
Yeah.
just like a bunch of walkers, and Daryl didn't care. He was like,
Yeah.
all right, let me just walk right by them real quick.
Right.
Like there's no like suspense whenever I see a zombie anymore. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like
Mm-hmm.
okay, I know one's gonna fall on them, and then
Right.
one's gonna either like
But
stab
they'll
him in
be
the
all right.
head.
It's gotten to the
Yeah,
point where when a walker falls on top of somebody, you're like, oh, they'll be all
yeah, exactly.
right.
Like the first 3 seasons, it's like oh one falls in you, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like that's the way it works. But now it's just like This is just a common occurrence. Like it'd be all right.
Yeah. Well, even with like with Judith, I mean, it's kind of funny because like when she was out walking in the woods with Daryl, he was just like, "Oh, you shouldn't be here," and she was like, "But I can kill walkers," and he was like, "All right." like, like he was just like, "Okay, you're fine."
Yeah, fair.
Um,
Like
I will say one thing I really liked about this episode was seeing Carol and Daryl both find creative solutions to their problems. Carol with fixing the
fair.
motorcycle, or Daryl with fixing
Daryl,
his
okay.
motorcycle, Carol with figuring out the electricity thing with the solar panel. And I'll tell you what, this extended season has showcased how hard it would be to survive like after like the fall of humanity 15 years down the line. You know what I mean?
Unless you know how
Because
to work on bikes and work on a solar panel,
that's
I
what I'm
guess.
saying. Like even making a simple meal, like look at all that crap Carol had to do in fixing the solar panel and setting it all up. I mean, it took her like all day and then she still couldn't even do it because of the damn rat. So it was just like, I don't know. It goes to show you like how complicated it would be to live in that world, even apart from the zombies, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Oh, we got a timer. That's our
we
time,
do. That's
guys.
my timer going off. um, let me turn this off here. There we go. Yeah, I also like that they both said "see you later, asshole." Daryl said it to the walker. Carol said it to the rat. That was just another like parallel between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I we got to talk about the elephant in the room for me. Carol chasing the rat around her house and
Dumb.
busting up the wall. I was like,
Oh, okay. Busting out the wall. I was like, okay, this woman's clearly like, she's really hurt.
I mean,
Not
like
possible.
I get it, but at the same time, it was it that big of a deal? Was the rat that big of a problem? I mean, I know she was taking out aggression. She's upset. She was fighting with Daryl, but like she tore that wall up.
Mm-hmm.
She tore it up. It
She
was
really
very
did.
very strange. And I guess I don't know. I guess she was letting her frustration out, but um,
Was she trying to
I
catch
don't
that
know.
mouse for food?
No, I
I
think
keep
she just
thinking of
wanted
that.
it out.
No, I think she told dog. She was like, "That's food," and I was like, "What?"
I don't know.
Then
I wouldn't
again,
trust that, man. I don't know about a
yeah.
rat.
Then again, it's like 15 years, and you got to eat what you got to eat. Just saying.
I don't know about that. Um, yeah, that was another kind of strange scene. I literally rolled my eyes when she looked at Jerry and said, "Can't you just let someone like me suffer in peace?" I was like, "Carol, shut up. You're so much better than that. Like,
I know
you're
she's
so much
she's
stronger
so
than
much
that."
more
Like,
badass than
it
that.
just seems like a strange act. And I know I mean, we already talked about this with it being, like her defense mechanism. It was just very like odd for her to be like, "Leave me alone." Like, I was like, "What do you know? This is
Exactly.
you're a badass. You're crazy. You are awesome." And you're like one of the strongest people there. Like you've done some crazy stuff to stay alive. You
I
got to
forget.
admit, out of anybody on that show, Carol has done some wild things.
Yeah,
She
like
really has.
she blew up. She blew up a camp, shot a girl. I forgot about that one.
Mm-hmm.
And she literally tore
Look at
down.
the flowers.
Yeah, ooh, that was a pretty rough scene. I'll be honest. And
It
she
was a rough
also
scene.
she used that. You remember when she used that she used that trick to like mac off a couple of saviors? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was badass. Like she thought she was like we were thinking, oh god, she's given up. This is her. And then
Yeah.
next thing you know, like they all go down, and she's literally like she had her like Uzi in
Yep.
her jacket. I was like,
Her
that's
Uzi.
my Carol. That's my Carol right
That's the
there.
Carol I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that this gets somewhat resolved before the Daryl and Carol spinoff, because as much as I can appreciate this episode for what it was, I don't want to see an entire series about this.
Them trying to like reconcile
Yeah.
their friendship.
Would
It
you agree
might
with that?
it might start off that way, like
Now,
the first couple
if that's a
episodes.
part of it, then sure, that's fine. But I don't want every single episode to just be like multiple versions of what we saw or this week.
Yeah.
I think that was I don't know. I think that's a little bit strange. And I say this and I critique it, but again, I'm gonna feel like Glenn from season one. Hey, dumbass, Yeah, you in the tank. Like, I feel like that's gonna be me, like, wishing it away, and I'm not wishing it away. I'm very bittersweet about the end of this show, just because I've been there since day one.
I
You've
hear it,
almost been
same.
there since day one,
Almost. I started around season 2, so I
but
mean, it was all right. Yeah,
you're
I'll give
back
it
now,
that.
so it's
Yeah,
okay.
it'd be
You
all right.
came late, you left, then you came back, then you left again. Now you're back, so it's
Yep,
okay.
it's a toxic relationship.
So it's a toxic relationship. All right, guys, that is this week's recap for episode 1021 of The Walking Dead Diverged. Next week, I am super, super hyped. We finally get the extended Here's Negan episode. And I know diehard fans of The Walking Dead have been waiting for months and really years since Negan was introduced for his backstory. And I think it looks really interesting with his wife playing Lucille and the direction that they're going to go with this. I'm very curious to see how they portray him and what all we get to see from Negan's backstory. So that's going to be a really fun one. And that will conclude our mini-series for this season of The Walking Dead on Let's Talk Movies. We want to encourage you, check out episode number 15. We're talking the DCEU madness that's going on at Warner Brothers right now. And then episode 16, we have our tickets. We are going to see Godzilla vs. Kong on Friday night. And it's going to, I feel like Kevin Hart, it's about to go down. So we will check out Godzilla vs. Kong, and we'll be back in episode 16 to talk about that film. It's kicking ass overseas. I don't know if you've seen it.
Box office, international box office opening week has been
killing it right now overseas. So I'm very excited to see that. Please, if you would, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We Talk the Movies. We post a whole lot of new content and updates there, and a look behind the scenes of our episodes. Hope everything is great in your world, and we will talk to y'all soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Peace.